All right, it's that time of the year again for my anticipated movies of the year of 2023. Now, continuing with the theme that I have been going with my top 15 TV shows, my top 15 worst movies and best movies of 2022, I'm going to do a top 15. Now, this isn't in numerical order. It's just all, just a list that I have together of the 15 movies that I am anticipating for this year. So let's get to it. Now, first on my list is 65. Yes, it stars Adam Driver, who kind of crash lands on an unknown planet, but finds out he's stranded on Earth 65 million years ago. Yeah, when I saw the trailer, I was really intrigued by it. Didn't know what was happening. I mean, could it be aliens? But then that one silhouette of through the waterfall, you see the T-Rex. It's absolutely crazy. Like, what caused it? What happened? It's going to be interesting to see how this movie is and is going to play out. I feel like it could be a big hit or a really lackluster hit, but I think the storyline will get people to go see it, and it's going to be interesting for sure to see how everything plays out. And I do like Adam Driver. He's coming into his own as an actor, and he's picking a really great scripts, and this is one of them. And the film is produced by Sam Raimi, so it's going to be fun to check out. Up next, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, the third entry in the Guardians movies, and after seeing the trailer, something big is going to happen in this film. Someone will lose someone. Who knows if Rocket will survive? Will Groot, go through emotional trauma once again? And the whole aspect of what will happen with Adam Warlock. It's going to be interesting because it's very different than any other kind of Guardians of the Galaxy movie that you see or know of. I mean, the first two were kind of comedic, and this is going the emotional route. And James Gunn knows how to write and direct a comic book movie, and it's just absolutely crazy that how everything is going on. Next up is The Nun 2. Yes, The Nun is getting a sequel. It tells a story and takes place in 1956 France, where a priest is murdered, and Sister Irene, played by Taissa Farmiga, must go and investigate what happened. All the while, she confronts Valak, the demonic nun, once again. It's directed by Michael Chaves, who directed a few previous entries in the Conjuring universe films, and I'm curious to see what happens. The first one was great, but the nun wasn't really that present in her own film. She was more present in The Conjuring 2 than she was in The Nun. And Taissa Farmiga as Sister Irene is really good. I'm curious to see how this story will play out. Will it be very scary? Will it not be very scary? It's going to be interesting to see how and what happens. And I'm hoping it's going to be a good entry. Next up, The Expendables 4. Yes, the fourth entry in the Expendables franchise. The Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Randy Couture, Marchio-esque movie. Now, basically the story in this is that a nuclear conflict between Russia and the United States kind of sucks in the Expendables for kind of one last mission, I want to say. Stallone does not write, he does not direct this, he's just starring in it. And I'm curious to see how this entry is. Will it be better than the third one? Because in my opinion, I feel like 2 is a good entry. 1 is far superior than, all the other entries. But will 4 actually be good, and how will it play? And, will the big name stars that are in this actually stand toe-to-toe with everyone, and how will the movie play out? It's going to be interesting to see, and I can't wait to check it out. Up next on my list is Dune Part 2. I absolutely love the first Dune, and Denis Villeneuve is a phenomenal director. I still don't understand how he didn't win or get nominated for Best Director for Dune Part 1. Dune Part 2 is going to be an extravagant, over-the-top, fun, set design, costume, in-your-face film, and it's going to be fantastic. I mean, there's no better way to do a sequel like this, and this is a really big sequel, and it's going to be amazing. All the main characters and actors are returning for this sequel, so it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out and what's going to happen in the end, or if Denis Villeneuve changed some things, and I can't wait for Dune Part 2. Next up on my list is Insidious Chapter 5, or Insidious Fear the Dark. It is the 5th entry in the Insidious film franchise, and it is directed by Patrick Wilson, who you may know plays Josh Lambert, the father. This film is set 10 years after the events of the first 2 movies, so Already we can see that the Lambert story is continuing, and it's kind of in a way where Dalton Lambert, Ty Simpkins, who is older now, still kind of is going through a process of what happened in the first two movies. I'm very curious to see what happens. Rose Byrne does return as the mother as well as Renee, and it's going to be interesting to see how Patrick Wilson, who stars in this movie, also directs it in his big feature film directorial debut. I feel like it's going to be a good entry, and continuing a story like this after so many movies that kind of moved away from the Lambert story is going to be really fun to see. And Insidious Chapter 5 is really going to be a really fun horror movie. Now, up next on my list is the Super Mario Brothers movie. Yes, I'm anticipating this and I can't wait to check it out. The graphics look great. Illumination is really great with animated films, and this looks like it's going to be fantastic. Of course, yes, there's a lot of backlash for Chris Pratt playing Mario and voicing the role, but put that aside, look at what this movie can bring. It could start a whole new big franchise. We could have the Super Mario Brothers movie 2 or 3, or how everything plays out. And, you know, Bowser, voiced by Jack Black, is so perfect. And it's going to be fun to check out. This will be a huge hit in 2023. How huge? We'll have to wait and find out. Up next on my list is Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. Now, this is the third Ant-Man movie, and a lot of things can happen. So far, in every aspect of a third entry in a Marvel film with their main characters like Iron Man, Captain America, Thor, or whoever that may be, they've always lost something in their third film. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 could also be that, but Ant-Man and the Wasp, what's going to happen? This kicks off Phase 5 of Marvel, so it's going to be big, and Kang the Conqueror, the biggest villain since Thanos, is being introduced in this. And not only that, it's been rumored that MODOK is also in this film. How's it going to play out? What's going to happen? So many questions that need to be answered, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. Up next, John Wick Chapter 4. I absolutely love this franchise of movies. It's in your face, it's action-packed. I feel like 3 was a slow-paced moving story. Even the action was kind of slow-paced at times. Looks like it could have been fast, but it wasn't. The whole story was confusing in a way a little bit, but Chapter 4 looks like it's going to be really interesting. Donnie Yen, Hiroyuki Sanada, like Bill Skarsgård. What more do you want in a John Wick film? The action's going to be upped, and it's going to be interesting to see how it all plays out. And this is one of the biggest films of this year, and it will gain a lot of big box office success by people watching it or even word of mouth. Up next, Transformers: Rise of the Beasts. Finally, we get a Transformers movie not directed by Michael Bay. The trailer made this film absolutely fantastic. I mean, the whole primal aspect, the Beast thing, it's a runoff of the Beast Wars storyline back in the 80s and 90s. If you're a child and you saw that cartoon, that animated series, then you know exactly what I'm talking about. And now, so many years later, my age of kids who are grown up now will absolutely go to see this movie. I mean, Transformers: Rise of the Beast, no Shia LaBeouf, no Mark Wahlberg, no Michael Bay. This can be a really fantastic Transformers movie. How will it play out? We don't know. Will it continue new things? We don't know. It's been rumored it's the start of a new franchise of more movies, but we'll wait and see to find out. Up next is Evil Dead Rise. Yes, a new entry in the Evil Dead film franchise. And the reason it's called Rise is because it takes place in an apartment complex. And what creepier way and what scarier way do you want it? Not much is said about the story. We don't know what's going to happen, but after the still images that have been released, it's going to be a scary film for sure. Word of mouth will get people to see this movie. If you're a fan of the entire franchise like I am and you loved the remake back when it came out, it's going to be fun for sure. It's going to be in your face, it's going to be bloody, and it's going to be a fun time. This is one of those movies where you look back and be like, wow, I'm actually glad I saw this, because for that horror and that fun experience that I got to see at the movies. Up next on my list is Oppenheimer. Christopher Nolan once again is directing a phenomenal looking movie. Cillian Murphy as Oppenheimer, the man that created the nuclear bomb. I mean, it's going to be interesting, and it's been said that he kind of did a nuclear explosion without kind of actually making it. I don't know how that's going to happen or what it is. All-star cast. This movie is going to be great. July 21st, 2023. Mark your calendars. It's going to be epic. I feel like this will get recognition as word of mouth goes on and people will see it. And I'm hoping this gets rave reviews and gets nominated for a few awards when the award season time comes for the movies of 2023. Cillian Murphy looks like he's going to give a stellar, amazing performance. And it looks like it's going to be really, really fun. And just the dynamic of what Christopher Nolan has been able to do with his own films, writing and directing. Oh, obsolete, perfect. Can't wait to check out Oppenheimer. Up next on my list is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Listen, for the past 10 years, ever since Ghost Protocol, the Mission Impossible films have gotten 100% better. Fallout was kind of slow going, but the story aspect was really, really dynamic, and it was a, I want to say, arc of that took place over a couple movies, and it's still going on with Dead Reckoning. We all know the aspect of what Tom Cruise went through during COVID, his COVID outburst that was captured on audio during the making of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. And he is doing his own stunts. The man is 60 years old, and people will go see a Tom Cruise movie. Whatever differences you have about him, that's your opinion. Put it aside. Go see the movies. He makes amazing, fun action movies, and Mission Impossible is one of those franchises you can't help but check out because of what it is, the story, the action, and even the cast of actors that are in it to portray the characters. It's absolutely phenomenal and probably a really, really fun time at the movies. It's probably going to be close to 2.5 hours long, but it's well worth it. We see Tom Cruise still a box office draw, as with Top Gun Maverick, which was the biggest movie of 2022. Up next on my list is The Exorcist. Yes, this year, 2023, marks the 50th anniversary of The Exorcist. The Exorcist came out December 26, 1973, and it's really interesting because this is kind of a continuation of that, or a sequel in a way that is from that film. Evidently, it stars Leslie Odom Jr., who plays a father whose son or daughter is possessed, but he doesn't know what to do, so he goes to ask Ellen Burstyn's character from the first movie about what to do. It's directed by David Gordon Green, who directed the Halloween Ends, and Halloween Kills franchise of movies. And The Exorcist is also written by Danny McBride, and along with the other crew and clique that they have. I'm excited for this movie to see how it is, especially for it to be the biggest 50th anniversary of any film for that matter, and releasing it during the time of an anniversary year is always good. Will it capture the essence of the first film? I don't know. I can't tell you, because it's still the most scariest movie of all time, no matter what you think of it is, with all these scientific routines and aspects going on, that this is that, and this is the scariest movie. No, The Exorcist still stands as 50 years later as the scariest movie. Will this new film, which is supposed to be a remake, reboot, and a new franchise, will that be a scary movie? We don't know. We don't know what they're gonna keep, what they're gonna take out, and how does Pazuzu play a role in it. It's going to be crazy to see, and I feel like it's going to be interesting. Hopefully they don't go the Halloween 2018 route of certain things with Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, and where they just, that's it, that's all that happens. This is a demonic force that you have to fight physically and mentally, and it's going to be really, really fun to see how it all plays out. And finally, my most anticipated film of this year is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, or Indiana Jones 5. Harrison Ford plays the iconic role and returns once again, and the trailer looks amazing. It's fantastic. You hear the music, the silhouette of the hat, the whip, the shadow. Like, what kind of archaeological adventure are they going on now? Mads Mikkelsen is in it as a villain. I mean, once again, Indiana Jones is fighting Nazis. What better way can you have Indiana Jones go off into the sunset than fighting Nazis? Steven Spielberg does not return to direct. That chair is taken over by James Mangold, who directed phenomenal movies in his filmography and career. So I'm really curious to see how this fifth entry in the Indiana Jones movies plays out. We know how Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was. Put that aside. And while The Last Crusade and all the previous films were fantastic, I feel like Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny will be that entry in the franchise that will be remembered as being the way that it should have ended. And I mean, what a way for Harrison Ford to go out. And I'm pretty sure if this movie makes a lot of money, they might make a sixth one, but I don't see that happening. Leave it. That's it. 5 movies in a franchise over close to 40 some years. It's gonna be so much fun to see, and I can't wait. So there you have it, my top 15 anticipated movies of 2023. Let me know in the comment section below what your top 15, 10, 5, or even that one movie is that you anticipate checking out this year. And do you think any of these will be a box office hit or a box office letdown? Let me know in the comment section below about all the questions I just asked, and be sure you click that subscribe button, hit that notification bell for new videos on my channel, and I'll see you all in the next video, and thank you for tuning in.